Welcome back, Leo. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Today we're going to do your July 2021 How They Feel About You Love Tarot reading. So we have a lot happening in the sky, especially for you, Leo. We have a series of T-squares that have perfected over this last weekend. It was 4th of July weekend in the United States. And now we're moving into another T-square involving Venus. So let me explain. T-squares always represent tension of some type, and they're happening in your sign. So Mars, the planet of action, vitality, virility, cutting, severing, it is the god of war after all, is in your sign, and so is the love planet Venus. Venus represents love, relationships, harmony, negotiation, friendship, both sitting in your sign. Those are the cosmic lovers, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So we'll get more to this. It's going to be really important for you. But right now, Mars just went through a T-square over to strict, stern, disciplined Saturn sitting in your 7th house of Aquarius. And the 7th house has to deal with marriage, one-on-one relationships, sexuality, and legal contracts. Right at the midpoint between the two is unstable Uranus sitting in Taurus. And Taurus can be a little bit of a stubborn energy. Again, these are the fixed signs. We'll get more into that as well. But Taurus and Uranus is competing energy. Uranus wants change. It wants liberation. It wants freedom, innovation. It represents the future. Taurus tends to be a little bit more of a stuck energy. They're very stubborn. They want groundedness. They don't move very fast, so the two kind of clash in a way. So if you were to look at an astrological chart, let's just say down here are the lovers, Venus and Mars. Directly opposing it in your 7th house is Saturn. And Saturn has been there since December, and it's going to completely make over this particular house. I am a Cancer rising, and Saturn just went through my 7th house of Capricorn last year, and it was a tough year in relationships for me. I'll just let you guys know, I thought I had met the one, essentially. It was very passionate, very romantic relationship. Turns out he was involved with someone else and was committed to someone else. So, it's tough situations in relationships. It can be kind of a reality check. So Mars already moved through the T-square. Now it's time for Venus, and Venus is going to perfect tomorrow. I'm doing this on July 6th. Tomorrow's July 7th. So this is a big day. So, Venus and Saturn can be reality checks in love. It can also bring up some difficulties in love. It can bring up some things that, you might be sweeping under the rug, but it can also represent commitment on the other side. So Saturn wants long-term stability, wants something that's going to last the test of time. Venus is this planet of love. So this could go, multiple ways depending on what's happening with you. But right in the middle of it is, here we are, the opposition between the two. And then right in the middle is Uranus. And Uranus is rebellion and change and freedom and all of these things. It's the change maker of our cosmos. So it just points to a lot of tension. And the thing is, it's happening in your angular houses. And angular houses are 1, 7, 4, and 10. And these are important houses in astrology because the 1st house represents you, your body, your self-presentation. The 4th house represents home and family usually. The 7th house is marriage and relationships. And the 10th is career. These are the pillars of our lives. So when things go bad, it's usually one of these 4 areas that are just falling apart on us. So the angular houses are important. So this is happening in your 7th and your 10th house and your 1st house. So the way I see this is there could be tension with your partnerships in business. There could be tension between work and your partner. It could be your partner's work. Any combination of that is coming up for review. But partnerships, generally speaking, with Saturn sitting in that 7th house, it's going to be a complete makeover of sorts. It's really going to sweep out that which isn't serving you, which isn't meant to last very long, and it's going to bring in new things for you. Uranus is sitting in your 10th house. It's going to make over a career in some way, and it's been there since 2018, and it's going to be there until 2026. It's a long transit. Uranus takes a long time to move through the sign. So now the two are coming to a head. And now you have Mars and Venus sitting in your home sign. So it's something involving you, your partnerships, and career of some type, your outward appearance in the world. Mercury, the planet of communication, travel, channels of all types, it's a very broad term, is now moving out of shadow. So again, I'm doing this video on the 6th. Tomorrow, Mercury finally moves out of its shadow retrograde phase. So Mercury rules Gemini. That's where it's been sitting for quite some time. It's had an extended stay in Gemini. And this retrograde season might have been a doozy because Mercury rules Gemini, rules communication. So there could have been a lot of miscommunication over the last month. There could have been issues with travel. There could have been issues with technology. And for you in particular, Leo, this could have been issues with friends, group association, global communication, because it's in your 11th house. This also has to do with financial gains. So if you had any issues with finances over the last couple of months, that's part of the reason for it. I am a progressed Leo a progressed Leo ascendant and a progressed moon. So the way this played out for me, and I think I may have touched on this a little bit on last month's video, I was transferring assets between financial institutions, brokerage accounts, and the financial institution that I was transferring assets to had deposited my stocks into someone else's account. So I'm looking at my account like, where the heck are all my cash and stocks? And I'm a Cancer rising, so this would have been my 12th house, but I'm also a Leo ascendant, progressed, so this also has to do with finances and financial gains. So Mercury is the trickster. It plays little tricks to see how you react to things. I'll get my asses back. I'm still working on it, unfortunately, but this will play out differently for all of you. So think back to about mid-May. That's when Mercury started going retrograde, and it started making a square over to nebulous Neptune, which creates fuzzy, haziness, confusion, even some disillusionment and deceit and escapism. So you can see how this might play out for you personally. For me, I was just confused as to where my assets were. So, but we're finally coming out of that retrograde phase tomorrow. So that's good. I think we'll get some mental clarity. I think communication will be a little bit more straightforward. Like I said, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, so it tends to do well, but this retrograde phase was a doozy for a lot of people. The T-squares are going to be the most important for you, though. Again, that's partnerships, one-on-one relationships. The good news, though, and there is actually good news, finally, Leo, is that the cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars, are going to meet up in a conjunction in your sign around July 12th, 13th, and 14th. It starts perfecting around those 3 days. This only happens once every 2 years, so it's time to get out there if you're single. It's time to ante up your relationship if you are partnered up or married. It's time to take it to that next level. Maybe there's a new level of commitment coming through for you. Maybe you reconcile some of the differences that you've had if this T-square really messed things up, because Mars went through it over the weekend. Now Venus is going through here, and then they kind of meet up. So the way I see it is, if there's been tension, emotional confrontations, a battle of wills and ego, and you in particular, Leo, the shadow side is the ego. You got to check that ego. So you can get wrapped up in ego disputes very easily over the next couple of days, especially with relationships, if you're not grounded. Now, the sun is sitting over in Cancer. We're in Cancer season. We're about halfway through. That is your 12th house. And I want to caution you on one thing here. So this is a water sign. This is about emotion. This is about feeling. This is about your intuitiveness, right? That's what it's tapping into. The 12th house is a hidden house. It's about introspection. It can be about confinement and isolation. So there can be a feeling of isolation in your relationships right now, or just generally speaking. In Vedic astrology, the 12th house is about sex and intimate matters. This can also be a house of self-undoing, self-sabotage, and escapism. So you really have to be careful over the next couple of days, at least the next 2 weeks until the sun moves into your sign on July 22nd, because that 12th house can really screw people up. Now, if you want to harness the energy with Mars and Venus, my advice to you is go near water. If you're planning a date, if you got someone on your radar, if you're married or partnered up, go by the lake, go to the pool, be near water, because Cancer is a water sign. There's healing properties to water. So that would be a really good way to utilize this energy. Another way to utilize it is do something creative. Leo, you are a very creative sign. You're the 5th house in astrology, and that's associated with creativity. So what I'd say is go to an art museum, do a cooking class, do something very creative and kind of out of the box, because that's where love can be found. And again, that's happening. The lovers are going to meet up for you in your sign on the 13th, but I'd say 12th, 13th, 14th is a really good time to plan something. All right, so those are the general astrological energies. Be careful of self-sabotage. Be careful of ego disputes. Letting emotion ruin the day. That Venus-Saturn opposition could be a reality check for you, Leo. So just, keep it in check. That's all I'm saying. All right. And you got to find out that I am a progressed Leo and Moon, my ascendant. So I don't know if I've divulged that information to anyone else, but Leo, I have a lot of Leo viewers, so maybe that's the reason why you guys tend to come back here. So anyway, big stuff overall. Not easy stuff, but we're going to find out what's happening in love. So we're going to pull 6 cards from the tarot today, 1 card from the angels. And we're going to find out how they feel about you. This is for Leo, ascendant and sun. Check out your moon, Venus, and rising sign. If these messages don't resonate with you, if you like these videos and would like to see more of them, please click that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel and it's very much appreciated for me, and you get to see more of me. Yay. Crack myself up sometimes. These are general readings. Messages won't resonate with all of you. Take the messages that do, leave the rest. I'm reading for thousands of you, so this isn't going to resonate with all of you. Like I said, check out your Venus sign, your moon, and your rising as well. All right, here we go, Leo. Let's see what's going on with you in love. First card out is going to be the general energy of your love interest. The High Priestess could be dealing with a Pisces, someone that's very intuitive, in touch with their emotions, in touch with the ethereal, maybe a spiritual person. Overall, this is a very good card. Second card out is going to be their attributes. 7 of Swords. Okay, so we might need to clarify this a little bit. The 7 of Swords, usually in my readings, is the trickster. So you got to be careful of lying, cheating, deceit, anything to that effect. So these are a little bit of conflicting energies here. Mercury is squaring Neptune right now, and that's the 11th house matters. So that could be friends, group associations, people that you're around. And Pisces for you is your 8th house, and that's intimate matters. So we'll see what this is all about. Third card out is the flaws of your love interest. 3 of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. So, sometimes this can point to third-party situations. Other times this can point to someone that's just working way too much. So maybe they need to devote more attention to you. And we all know how you love your ego stroked and wanting to be the center of attention at times. But, we'll see. There's more to come here. This is how they feel about you. Okay, so here's another 3 of Cups. This is celebration. This is happiness. This is joy. So you bring them a lot of joy. You bring them a lot of happiness. But again, we have 3 threes here, 2 threes at least. So that's a little concerning. Next card out is the potential for a healthy and happy relationship. 4 of Pentacles. This is the miser of the deck. They might be a little bit stingy. They could be stingy with money. They could be stingy with feelings. If it's not reciprocal here, Leo, I would say this might not be the one for you. Here's the outcome. 3 threes. Ooh, this is a heavy reading. 3 of Swords. This is loss. This is heartbreak. I'm just going to say this off the bat. I'm about halfway through the zodiac for doing my readings this month. No one has had a good reading. The T-squares are really bringing up a lot of emotional past baggage. It's bringing up X's. It's bringing up things not built on a steady foundation. And let's remember this. Saturn is the ruler of structures. It wants things long-term. It wants discipline. It wants responsibility. And Saturn and Uranus are making a square. That can point to difficulty. And Uranus is this rebellious, liberating change agent of the zodiac, and it's really affecting people, and it's pointing us to where we have built relationships not on a steady foundation. And when I read this particular reading, the spread, it's pointing to some deceit here, and that Mercury Neptune, you might be finding out about it over the next few days. Mercury is finally coming out of shadow. If things came up during that Mercury retrograde period, or even the eclipse period, which was just last month, it's all coming to light. They may be, so, generally speaking, again, this could be a Pisces. Pisces is your 8th house. The 8th house is a house of transformation. It's a house of intimate matters. It's death and rebirth. So you could be going through this death and rebirth process right now based on things in the past where you're trying to get over some past hurt. Or you're dealing with a Pisces that's not on the up and up. Pisces generally, the Pisces that I know, some of them have sex addictions and they can't help it. So they might be very intuitive, very caring, but it looks like, generally speaking, they're not on the up and up. We have the liar, cheater, thief card here. And, this card is interesting to me always when it appears. And I mention this for all my readers, my viewers, excuse me. He's got 5 swords in his hand. He's got 2 on the ground. I call those the breadcrumbs right here. They're not very smart. They leave clues. So don't ignore the red flags, Leo. Especially if your intuition is kicking in here. The flaw position, 3 of Pentacles. Again, we have 3 threes. Not easy. I mean, it's a third-party situation for sure. I mean, that's all there is to it. And it's left you heartbroken. It's left you with some loss, some heartbreak. And they were stingy. Maybe you confronted them about it and they weren't upfront. So how do you deal with this? How do you go about moving on from this? When I just said that the lovers are meeting up in your sign, I'd say this. There could be potential for healing if you want it. It's up to you. Based on this, I don't know if you're going to want that. I think it's just saying maybe you need to use some of your intuition here. There could be something new coming in for you. But this is definitely something that I would just say, nah. This is a lot. And the fact that this guy is in here too, this is the potential for a happy relationship, stinginess with feelings, not reciprocating feelings. You deserve better than that. We're coming up to Leo season. The sun is sitting in that 12th house. In Vedic astrology, that's a house of intimacy. It's a house of self-undoing and self-sabotage. So if you come out to find this information over the course of the next few weeks, I'd say be very careful about how you go about responding to this, because you have Mars sitting in your sign, and Mars is the god of war. So just, don't go over the top. If it's already happened, you're already on the way for some healing. And I say, go through your healing mechanisms during this time, because you're going to need it. This is not an easy reading. Let's pull a card from the angels to see what advice they have. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Yeah, don't compromise your boundaries. Don't compromise your value. You are Leo the king, Leo the lion. You hold yourself in great esteem. And when your ego gets hurt because of a third-party situation, you can really go into a spiral. So this is saying love yourself first. Know your boundaries. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So if you're putting up with a situation like this, I'd say really it's time to assess those boundaries. It's time to assess that self-worth and know what you're willing to put up with. This is not easy stuff here. No one has an easy reading this month. And it's just the nature of the beast when we go through these T-squares. Let's see what happens after the 3. The World, okay. I'm not pulling extra cards, but I wanted to pull one from you because you probably have one of the heaviest readings of all of the World. It's an ending. These are the fixed signs. I just talked about the fact that we have a lot of fixed energy here. Here you are, Leo. Here's Taurus. Here's Aquarius. Here's Scorpio. It's a culmination. This is the last card in the tarot. It's an ending. It's a release. And it's letting go of the past hurt. It's letting go of the things that don't align with you energetically, romantically, and it's about realigning. So this is good. This is the end. I gotta take a deep breath after that. It's the end though, and that's the most important thing. So whenever doors close, windows open, and you just got to look for it, Leo. If you're single, if you've been going through crap, or even if you're married and you're going through crap, go near water. Water is extremely healing. Even dip your toes in it. Just do something where you're near water. If it's near the pool or a river or a lake or the ocean, if you happen to be on one of the coasts, get in there, wash it away, and release it, because that's going to be the most healing thing for this situation. I wish you only the best, Leo. I will be back later on this month. Please click that like button if this is resonating with you. Not an easy read, like I said, but sometimes that's just the nature of the beast. I wish you very well. We'll talk to you soon.